Heck yeah.
Yes.
What up, team? Welcome to the Buddy System
Welcome
podcast.
to the pod.
It's
Hey,
me,
man.
your host, Chris, other host.
Matty, Ryan, hey.
And we've got a guest this episode, one
Samuel.
of our good buddies, Sam Biru.
Hey, Sam.
Let's go.
Thanks for coming,
Thank you guys
dude.
for having me, man.
Yeah,
of course.
It's
Thanks for
amazing,
coming
yeah.
by.
This is Sam's first time on the podcast. He's a Chicago comic by way of Philadelphia. He's
Yes.
one of our, I'd say he's one of our best, definitely one of the, like, our best newer comic. You're not even a newer comic at this point.
Yeah, I've been here for like 3 years now.
Yeah, but-
three. Yeah,
But yeah, you're in the, I would say, one of the better ones in the like the younger class of comedians.
Sure,
I
sure,
would
sure,
say.
sure.
Yeah, I
not
appreciate
that
that,
it's
man.
a competition, but I remember seeing you and being like, "Holy fuck,
yeah.
the scene has hope."
Yeah,
Oh,
exactly.
there-
Yeah, I was
dude,
like,
thank you,
"Good,
man.
there's young ones doing the
Not that
thing."
it's a competition, but you did win JFL.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you won.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
you got out of, you were the only one from Chicago that got
This
it.
one
Was
of
that last year?
JFL
Yeah, that was
New
last year,
Faces.
2025. Yeah, New
Nice.
Faces. Yeah,
One of our
yeah.
recent guests, Adam Gilbert and Sam, are two of the people that enforced the
yeah.
curse of come feature for me at the Laughing Tap, and you will get
Oh.
JFL.
Hell yeah,
Yeah.
he was at the Laughing Tap with you.
Yeah,
that's
Gilbert.
amazing.
That same summer, he featured for me at the Laughing Tap. Also
and then
got
JFL.
JFL later.
New comics, you hear it now.
You
Yeah.
did the same thing.
In Milwaukee, get on the list. Who's
Yes.
opening this year?
And Tommy Brennan too.
And Tommy Brett.
Yeah,
Oh my
and
god,
then he
there's a clear
catapulted.
pipeline to
Yeah, yeah.
JFL.
Straight from the Laughing Tap in Milwaukee to the
Yeah.
biggest comedy
to
festival
the
in the
biggest
world.
comedy.
Then, and
Yeah.
in one case to SNL, so you might get an SNL too.
And not,
There we go.
and
Oh.
not headlining it.
Oh.
Not headlining that club.
Featuring.
You have to be
For Chris.
featuring for me.
yeah.
feature for you.
Who's never gotten JFL,
Yeah.
by the way.
Then you got to go to the Bobblehead Museum.
I think
Yeah.
we already, we've
did
outgrown
go to
it.
the Bobblehead
We did
Museum.
go there.
we
In
went-
Milwaukee?
There's a museum because we were in Milwaukee for days.
Yeah.
How many? 3?
Yeah.
No, just 2 nights. But
Two
Yeah.
nights.
But
And you
the-
ran out of stuff to do?
But we had to leave our hotel because we were gonna bail
Early. Yeah.
after the show.
Oh, just to get back here?
Yeah, 'cause
Yeah.
it's not that far, and so we were just like killing the day without like a hotel to just be like lie in and watch South Park, you know. And so fucking went to the Bobblehead Museum
The
in
Bobblehead
Milwaukee,
Museum, yeah.
Wisconsin.
Nice. There's a lot of stuff to do there.
There's tons of stuff to do there, but we went to the
You
Bobblehead.
should
Yeah,
have
we
that
went
one,
to the
yeah.
Bobblehead Museum.
Nice.
When he said it, I was like, yeah, no, I'm very content with doing that for the rest of the day.
How long did you spend there?
Too long.
Yeah, I think we spent. I feel like we spent maybe like 2 hours there. There
Yeah.
was a little game where it was like you had to find the Waldo, like where's Waldo
Oh,
bobblehead.
okay, that keeps you there for a while.
And like
And they're like, could you fill out the alphabet with all the different
Oh, yeah.
bobbleheads that we have, or like, could you get like every sport? They gave you like a bingo card, basically.
Yeah.
Was there a
yeah.
prize?
Probably a bobblehead.
I think it was definitely.
Probably.
They're up their tits and bobbles.
They got enough.
I searched it up online and they were like, yeah, there's definitely a prize. And it was like, I think the post was like from like 2010. And they were like, you definitely want to, win the prize. And then we won and they were just like, good job. So I think they just stopped the prize thing. And I was very motivated from that
we
post.
did
from
win,
10
and we were
years
like,
ago.
yo, we fucking won. And they're like, nice, man.
The lady
Cool,
was like,
dude.
thanks for
Nice,
coming in.
good for fucking you, dude.
That's really cool. We also noticed that neither of you guys are 7 or 8 years old. So get the fuck out of here.
Just grown men sweating.
You both grown men. Can you grow beards? Yeah. Get the fuck out of here.
We finished it.
First off, your answer sheet is wet. And we hate that. Both of you are sweaty. We hate that
Yeah,
even more.
yeah.
Why do you guys have suitcases?
Yeah. Why do you guys have all your
Where are
luggage?
you going?
Yeah. I think it was stickers that we got. They gave us stickers.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Stickers.
Of a
They were
bobblehead.
like, good
Yeah.
job.
Yeah.
Here's a stickle.
A sticker, yeah.
But yeah, Sam's a great comic. I love your comedy. Is like it's so much different than mine. So you're one of those
yeah.
comedians that I can go watch. You know what
Yeah,
I mean?
yeah.
Like it's like you have like a nice it's not slow. That's not the right term for it, but it's
Yeah.
like a deliberate pacing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
methodical.
To it, there's like it's more methodical. Where
Yeah.
I'm like more frantic and performative.
Yeah,
and like,
yeah.
Please like me the whole time. You're up
Right.
there being like, so you will sit in it and just fucking strap in, and I'll
Dude,
get you there.
I appreciate that
Yeah.
so much, man. Yeah.
It's like
It calms me down and
I learned from
and
it.
like helps me
Yeah.
it's like to be like sit in the moment and laugh
Yeah.
rather than with me it's like someone's being electrocuted the whole time. I'm just
yeah, I feel like I learned from that. Like
Yeah.
watching,
Dude, thank you, man.
Like,
Yeah.
and that's like the best part about any art form.
Yeah.
Is you should never learn from only the people who've been doing it longer than you.
totally.
Yeah,
You
that's
like
such a
watch
good point.
someone like you just like hit the ground running, and I was like, "What? I'm gonna observe what he's doing." Right?
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know?
That's very.
That's why it was also nice to see you get New Faces out of Chicago because like There's been people like I got at my 8th year auditioning. So by the time I got, I'm like, do you even want me to keep showing up to this? Like, Dave Drake did an audition in New York last year. It was his 10th year auditioning. Yeah, and he started his audition set, but he goes, New Faces. He goes, I have friends that have done this that are dead. And he did it. He like roasted it for like a minute and a half. He goes, okay, my audition starts now.
Now start the time.
Did you audition for like the same booker? Like I've never understood like bringing someone in year after year after year.
I mean, they do want to, I understand some of it because they want to see if you're growing, obviously.
Well, actually, that's a good point because I was going to make the point that you guys are people that like, I don't know why I had this idea that comedian, like they're like the best when they first, like, I don't know, when they're in the beginning of their career and then they kind of...
There might be something to that.
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot of careers that you see, but you guys somehow, every time I see you guys are funnier.
Wow, thanks.
Yeah, it makes me, every time I see a reel from one of you guys or I see you guys live, I'm just like, I'm like, I can't, sometimes I'll write a joke that's not as funny as something I wrote back then and I'm like, that's just how it goes. But then when I watch you guys, I'm like, no, that I should not, develop that mindset. I should try to be as funny as I possibly can.
Yeah,
every time. And you guys, every time I see you guys, have a bit that I'm like constantly repeating to someone.
Thank you so much.
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
That really makes me feel nice.
This is a nice compliment.
Yeah. Well, also like that never stops. At least for me, where like I can't over all the years. Sometimes you're sitting there trying to write. You're like, I think that's all my funny stuff.
Yeah,
I think I'm out, and you're like, no, that's not.
It's just not. I don't know why I'm like, the funny part of my brain is retired. Like it's like getting older. I'm like that doesn't make sense.
Well, sometimes that is true. Like that's why I'm like, you got to be, intentional about when you're like absorbing news and stuff because like
don't get
I
bitter.
can't like do like the 9-minute New York Times headlines and then be like, let me write some funny stuff.
Yeah,
so I'm just like when I hear that I'm like, do I have enough canned soup in my basement?
Yeah,
I don't have time to write fucking.
I didn't prepare for all this.
Enough frivolity.
Yeah, you're
ammunition stocking.
And you're a young man. I feel like you still have hope. What's going
I know.
on?
I still try to like remember where I'm like, I can't be too cynical right now. I'm like, I have my whole life ahead of me.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm young in my career. I'm like way too young to be like cynical at this point. But I will say, when you do like watch TikToks for a long time of just like news and stuff, and then you're like, you got to roll out of bed and then go do stand up. It is kind of a buzzkill.
Your like body is heavier. It's like
Maeve listens to The Daily. Which is like just a quick little pod of like
it's like 30 minutes.
15 to 30
right after the headlines.
News. And she's listening to it, and I'll like be walking by it, doing my own thing. And I'll be like having a good morning listening to fantasy novels, and I'll like hear what she's listening. She'll be like, and several children in Sudan, and then I'm like, God damn it!
That's why I just stop doing it in the morning or do it later because I keep waiting for like. I'm Michael Barbaro. Remember dogs? We used to love them. We miss them. Before we started only being able to eat dog meat, it's like, no, please, God.
I know it's impossible to consume news and then have a great day.
Yeah. There's like this NPR podcast. What do you know? Do you guys know the name of the one podcast that does like the stories on people and they're usually sad?
I think that's at least half to 70% of the NPR podcast.
It really doesn't narrow down NPR at all. Usually,
pretty much the entirety of NPR.
It's usually some nerd just being like, "Isn't life wretched?"
And I'm just like
it's
crying.
in that voice. It's in that monotone, sad voice. Jenna will play it in the car.
I like truly like sometimes I don't know how they're reporting some of the news they're saying without crying. Like knowing that they are NPR journalists. Like. Some of the TV people, I know how they can do it.
They're probably desensitized the same way like nurses are and
True.
like, doctors and stuff like that, just reporting on that news. I can't even
and they have to go
consume
home.
for more than like, it's hard to consume for more than like 10 to 20 minutes, just news.
I think you get so ratcheted up with getting, like once you're like in it, you're in it. Like you couldn't imagine like getting out of it.
Yeah.
Which again is like their goal with all of this. It's back to the whole flooding the zone thing. It's like, it's for overwhelm. It's to be like you can't even keep up with all the atrocities.
But like once people start getting like in the news cycle and addicted to it, and then they're like, I gotta know what's next, and I gotta know what's next.
Dude.
Like you like get yourself like absolutely enthralled, and then you're like, and then you find your like you have to like for your own mental health be like, I have to not know what's going on in the world anymore,
so
that I can have
dude.
It's This American Life.
This This American Life. Yes.
Ira Glass.
Ira Glass.
That shit is depressing.
There's some uplifting ones. It's not all depressing, but I think probably every every episode or every I'm sure there's at least one that's gonna really tug at the heartstrings in some capacity.
Like, Jenna listens to that podcast all day, and I'm like, this is no way to live your life.
Yeah,
I'm like, yeah, you're gonna be in shambles,
just sitting there crying out the window.
It's like taping like a sprinkler above the outside of your window, so it always looks like it's raining.
She shared one of those podcasts with me, and she was like, "What do you think?" And I was like, I'm kind of enraged. I don't want to go outside anymore, and I'm kind of distant towards you now because you're white. I was like, I don't think I'm going to talk to you for 2 days.
Not only me, but you now.
You, me, and us are all having a bad time together. So
we're all going to have a bad day. That's so true, though.
Yeah, I've been doing this new joke where I talk about like the History Channel, and I think I had a real post where I was just saying like the History Channel, it just feels like a highlight reel for white guys, and I was like when I watch the History Channel, I get like borderline radicalized when I watch it, and then I'm like I can't talk to like white people for like 2 days, and I'll go to work and I'll be like, I'm like, I can't get fired, but
I'm not happy today.
Hey Sam, how's it going? You remember Leopold II?
Yeah.
Everything he did to Belgium, you piece of shit. The fuck is wrong? Oh God, Jesus Christ.
Oh, so Sam's watching the History Channel again.
So you're super proud of the Belgians, huh? You know when you look Belgian, you piece of shit.
I think I'm pretty sure History Channel's like propagandized.
Calling it a highlight reel for white guys.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Who's History Channel owned by?
That's so good.
Who's History Channel owned by? I think it's like a bad guy.
Dude,
no channel is owned by good guys anymore.
Yeah, nothing.
Except PBS.
But I think they've been pumping
you gotta get your shit from YouTube. I feel like that could be.
I don't know.
I could be wrong, but I feel
A&E owns it.
Hearst.
So Disney.
As in
Disney.
William Randolph?
It's 50-50 between
one of the
Hearst and
original
Disney.
bad guys. Sick.
Yeah. One of the OG worst dudes. Great.
Very cool, dude.
The History Channel. I love when the History Channel made the leap from like, all right, we're going to talk about history to now they're basically like ancient aliens.
No, I really think they're like History Channels. I think is like I bet you couldn't find any programming that refers to slavery on the History Channel.
No,
like I think that's what they're trying to be like.
No doubt.
When you say highlight reel for white guys, it's also like and we never did anything bad, only good white guy stuff.
Right?
It's like, no. Whoa, you guys missed a bunch of chapters. I think
I took this class
90%
in college. It was like this African American history class. And the guy that every day in class, the guy would just say, "What's up?" And then he'd go on to YouTube and you would just watch him search, and he would just be like, it would just be like slavery, and then he would just put like a time period, and then he would just click an hour-long video, and we would just watch it, and it would just be like, some old documentary talking about slavery. You never put on like any history program thing. It would just be like on YouTube, just like something that's not on a TV program right now. And we'd watch it for like an hour, dude, and I would just see people like not pay attention and then begin to pay attention and then just slowly become enraged, and then class would be out. We would just have to walk out and continue.
No question.
Every day I would go in there and I'd be like, yo, this dude's gonna make me do something crazy if he keeps putting out these videos.
Well, it's like
Jesus Christ.
you don't become radicalized because you're born fucking mad.
Oh yeah.
No. You do it when you realize or wake up or see that history has been dealt through some severe a severe lens,
right?
That is like
that is still being controlled, and we're just kind of
we were talking about it the other day on the podcast. Where it was like where I grew up in Boulder, Colorado, in a genuine bubble with books that were all owned by one company that wanted to basically teach us. They were like, Martin Luther King fixed racism. That was a while ago. It's all good now. And like, good. Move on. We're going to learn about the Mississippi a lot.
I saw someone
a lot. Mostly the Mississippi.
I saw this video the other day talking about the same thing where this person goes, we spent 3 months learning about Helen Keller.
Yeah.
And I was like, we did. Yeah. I felt like a whole year was spent on that in like 4th grade.
And then there's like a 15-minute segment on Malcolm X, and they're like, all right.
And they're like, by the way, there's this underground railroad. Anyway, on the fucking this crazy blue bull.
The guy was
Paul Revere. He's not even real. We're gonna spend 2 weeks on folklore in the history section.
Wait, Paul Bunyan, right?
Sure.
You go, Paul Revere, not even real. That's the original conspiracy theory from our podcast. Paul Revere never happened, dude.
He's not a real guy.
Name of this pod is confidently wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think we almost toyed with that as a name, perhaps.
Maybe.
Yeah, sometimes I'll read history and I'll be like, this sounds too made up. I'm like, this sounds too good of a story.
Written
I'm
by
like,
the
someone
victors.
fucked up.
How about that story?
Yeah.
And then all the Native Americans and Pilgrims had a big dinner and everything was cool.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
That was a story that was taught to us. And then we all had Thanksgiving together.
Yeah, right.
And they're all dead now.
Like,
Yeah.
we called it the Trail of Tears.
Yeah, it went so well they're not here anymore.
Yeah. We called it Manifest Destiny. Whatever the hell that is.
Yeah.
That's what they called the white man's desire to spread west.
Yeah, man.
And just go take whatever you want.
Destiny.
And
Get
then
out
they
there
had
and
like
take
the white man's burden, where it was like, this is when the white guy was like trying to chill out, but then he was like, oh, I gotta teach this civilization how to live
and teach all these people how to be white.
He's like,
God, it's
I gotta
real.
get on a boat and travel across.
Don't worry, young man. I'm older than you. No, I've got you,
Yeah.
young man. Yeah,
Dude.
fucking patronizing. There's no doubt about it.
I want to grab I want to see like what the textbooks now look like. I wonder if they changed. And, like,
I
the
don't
schools
think
and
in a
stuff.
great deal or capacity. I'm sure
Yeah.
it's different schools or whatever, but like I
Yeah.
think if you're talking public schools and like statewide,
Yeah.
all those books are coming from the same spot.
They're owned by
Yeah,
the same
probably.
company.
McGraw Hill, there's another
Yeah,
one
McGraw
too.
Hill, yeah.
McGill.
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 We were talking about this on a past pod. All of
Also,
the,
those go up to a family that we don't really even want to talk about on this podcast.
Not at all.
Oh,
And
shit.
so-
Yeah,
and
yeah.
also, it's like the standard of textbooks. We've talked about this like 4 pods ago. All textbooks are basically written to the Texas standard of public schools because they're the largest purchaser. It's economics.
good,
so
right?
like Texas is the largest purchaser of textbooks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So because this company is like, well, they make the most, we're gonna
We're
have to
moving units with those
we'll
guys.
do
do everything
standard.
according to their standards,
Yeah.
which are always like Colorado standards also encompass
Yeah.
that, and so do
Yeah.
Pennsylvania's, and so do
Right,
Illinois,
yeah,
and so it's
yeah.
like, so we're learning what Texas is willing to teach their kids,
willing to teach.
because economics,
Yeah.
because of the invisible hand of Adam
Yeah.
Smith,
Right.
you piece of crap.
Also, not to mention that like those batch of textbooks come out, and then you have the same ones for like 20 years.
Yeah.
At least in the school
Yeah.
I went to, like
when
there
you
was,
read like the people that signed them
That
and
had
they-
it, yeah,
yeah,
Yeah.
Like, oh, history hasn't changed.
there's been 3 presidents.
nothing's
This is 3
happened. Yeah.
presidents.
We haven't
ago.
learned anything else since my
This is-
dad went here. This is my
yeah,
dad.
this is the
signed
year
in
I
this
was
book.
born. Like,
Yeah. Oh man, wait. So where did you go to college?
I went to Penn State University.
Oh, nice.
And this dude was
Yeah.
just saying nothing and is rocking YouTube videos at Penn
Yeah,
State.
dude, he was just rocking YouTube videos.
Whoa.
Penn State. It
Oh,
was,
he must have been tenured because that is
I
phoning
know,
it
right?
in, my
Yeah,
guy.
he definitely was tenured. That dude did not give a fuck.
Did you go to any football games there?
No, never. I would just go to tailgates. I never went
Nice.
to the football. I would just go to tailgates and I would get hammered, and then I would just go back home, and then I would take a nap, and then I'd go out again afterwards.
Huge move.
Yeah,
Didn't
no-
care about the score.
Dude,
really.
never. Was
Yeah.
never a huge football fan over there.
I always wondered what it's like to go to like a
Big Ten school.
10 school,
Dude,
like that.
honestly, I was like, I was so fucking random in college. I wasn't like drinking that much. Like there was a portion of college where I just wasn't drinking, and I was just picking up random hobbies. Which is
Nice.
like, yeah, which I want to happen again. I
I'm
haven't
doing
had a
that
good
now,
hobby.
Actually.
Yeah,
I just started that. You got a major head start.
That's what it's when you sober up. You're like, it turns out I really
Yeah.
need a lot of lamps.
Lots of lamps.
Buy a ton
yeah,
of
this,
lamps.
this wall is filled up.
2 different soldering irons. One wasn't the
We're
kind
like-
I wanted.
I was like, Matty, when someone needs to decorate the back, he's like, don't say no more.
Boom.
I will decorate this backdrop.
I'm not drinking anymore. I got it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
Oh,
true.
I've been thrifting.
It's good,
Yeah.
dude. Hobbies are. I mean, like drinking is a good way to be bored.
Yeah, I
the
feel
best
like
way to
I feel
deal with
like I
boredom.
feel like hobbies have to happen to you. Though I feel like I don't know everything that I've done that I've thought was cool. Like I didn't like intend to start doing it. Like it kind of just happened.
Yeah.
I feel like that's kind of like
Do you have ADHD?
no.
Okay.
I don't think so.
This is like one of my things, and it's from what I'm reading, a pretty common
Yeah,
trait where
'cause-
like hobby, like being all in, like
Oh,
is
yeah.
my whole,
Sluts.
and then
Yeah.
like months or whatever later, you're like, I don't even want to think
So
about
what's
it
Yeah,
one
anymore.
of the
yeah,
cool
yeah.
things that you like stumbled upon in that way?
Well, I was when I was I was just doing random shit. I did theater. I did theater,
Nice.
which I'm trying to get back into. I'm trying to
Yes.
get back into acting, but I had a pretty funny theater. I just saw like a poster on like a like a door or whatever for like a play. So I signed up for it, and then I ended up. I don't know what I was thinking, but I just signed up for it. And then I got into the play. And then the scene I had a pretty big scene in the play. But the scene I had to have a seizure in the scene. The last scene was me dying from a seizure.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Whoa.
So it was like
So
I went from
serious acting.
That's for real acting, dude. Yeah.
Yes, dude.
You just like walked in off the street for like an open call, and they're like, "Can you die and have a seizure?"
Dude, they were like, die and have a seizure. And then I was like, I was so like shy at the time. Like I had terrified of public speaking or whatever. But for some reason I got comfortable in this environment of just like, a few other actors and like a director or whatever. And then I was just doing things where I can't even imagine doing them now. We're doing like all these voice practices, and then I'm practicing seizing in front of this director. Was never fulfilled with my seizing. She was like, "You have to shake more."
This guy can't do seizures for shit.
More.
Shake more, young man.
She was like, "You have to shake more," and I was like, "I'm literally shaking as much as I can." And then she'd bring in like a shake expert, like she'd bring in like a guy that like he was like he knows how to shake. Like a seizure expert. She was like, "This guy is a professional," and then he would do it, and I'd be like, I guess I can shake more.
You're like, man.
Yeah, dude. I was like, well, I can't do that. I'm like, this guy's a fucking pro.
She just
like,
brings in a straight up epileptic. She's like, look at that. I hit his insulin. Can you do this?
And then he just check this shit out. See that? That's how you fucking shake.
So was this like was this play with like theater majors? Was it like a big production kind of thing?
It was a bunch of theater majors, and I was the only engineering major that was there. And I was the only engineering person that was there. So they were all kind of used to it, but I was kind of getting, familiar.
So you were
with
like
that world.
raw.
Yeah.
And they loved that.
Yeah. And I think people in that world love whenever someone from like the science world comes in. They get so fixated on that for some reason. I guess it is like abnormal for like an engineering major to
because also science is cool, but if it was like a business guy, you know what I mean? That's not as fun.
Yeah, that's not
then
as
it's
fun.
like, are you trying to do something weird in here?
Yeah.
What are you doing in here, you sick freak?
Exactly. Yeah.
We're looking for scientists. People with math minds.
Yeah. I feel like the lady that was directing it was like, you have a methodical way of thinking, and I'm going to liberate you from that. And like, I think that was kind of like, she was like, I'm going to take this engineer and make him a creative.
Or you were like a little challenge for her to mold somehow.
I feel like
nice.
So were you in the play? How long was this play?
I was in the play. The play was like, I think the play was like an hour.
Oh shit.
And I was in it, and I died. And dude, I remember I kept it a secret from everybody. I didn't tell anybody that I was in the play, but then the school had posted pictures of the play, and I remember one day my sister was like, "Yo, what is this?" I was just like seizing on the
secretly
floor.
in plays, huh?
Can I tell you this? I would watch a play about this story.
Yeah.
I would watch a play about this whole play saga.
happening.
Yeah.
So you think you could just do fake seizures, huh? Sneak that by your
You can
family.
do fake seizures. Yeah, that was the other thing is my mom has seizures, so I've seen what they look like, and they're like, she would be like, you need to shake more, and I was like, it's not realistic though, and she was like, doesn't matter, and I was like, I guess.
Whoa,
like,
that's the crazy part of the story. That's nuts.
Yeah, I was like, I've seen this before though. Like, I think I gave a very realistic seizure at first, and then she was kind of like, that's not going to do it. And I was like, all right.
So was that your first and only? Or?
It was the first and only play I did. And then after that, I was doing like, I did some like student films. I would act in those. Those are a lot more fun, I think, because you could kind of just go in and like do your own thing.
Yeah.
They kind of give you the script, and then you just kind of go in and do your own thing, and then they kind of like always on a tight schedule, so it's like.
And the director is also 19
Yeah.
and doesn't know how to direct.
Yeah. He's like, if you want, man, that's cool. I've actually never said no.
I did that
Never
too.
said no.
When I was in college, I was trying to do like Craigslist, like small films and stuff.
Oh,
you know
shit,
what I mean? Just anything.
Yeah, 19-year-old doesn't know any experts to bring in, so
No, not at all.
you could kind of do your own thing.
Yeah, I think. I mean, I know we're a change of subject a little bit here, but like I sort of felt similarly. Like it's not actually. I wanted to do like plays and shit in high school, and then none of my friends did, and I knew that like I wouldn't be like able to. It wasn't that I was worried about getting made fun of. I was like, I'm gonna miss everything.
Yeah.
They're all gonna be like chilling and doing all fun stuff. And, like, being up to no good, and I'm gonna be doing this play that I really want to do, but I'm going to miss all the inside jokes and stories.
Yeah.
And so
especially because like those rehearsals are like 8 hours long. Even if you're not a part of it, if you're not a part of the scene or whatever, you still have to be there.
But it can be fun if you're really into it. Like I did a couple plays at the end of high school, like junior and senior year. Because at first I was like too afraid to.
Yeah.
Like I was like, what are the guys from the football team going to say?
regret of mine.
Even though I wasn't on the football team anymore, I was still like worried about it. And then I joined junior year, and I did senior, and then I got kicked out of the play senior year because it was at the all girls school next door.
And they were like, he's a man.
No. I was in it, but I was. It wasn't just the all boys school.
He's been pretending to be a chick this whole time.
The hair wasn't great. The hair was.
I got kicked out of the play. It was an all girls school. Turns out I was a dude.
Yeah. It took him a long time to figure it out. No, boys could be in the play, but it was like a liberal arts, like performing arts high school. So it was like it was like a big to do, and like I think a few days before, like a week before opening night, I got kicked out because I was a problem. I was like bringing beer to rehearsal, like on the 8 hour, 10 hour like Saturday Sundays when it's like both cast full dress rehearsal.
Yeah.
I'd bring like a case of beer, and also for some reason I don't know why there was a bunch of hash in my neighborhood, so we were like smoking hash and drinking beers, and I got caught and got kicked out of play.
You're just shit-faced by the end of the fucking
like, no,
yeah, right?
Are you drunk? You're
I'm
drunk.
just imagining being the director of the play and watching a high schooler get drunker and drunker.
He's like
She hated me all. Like she always, she hated me.
Matty, are you drunk? No, you're not facing the right way. You're facing away from the audience right now.
Well, my character is mad right now.
Yeah.
My character is actually a little drunk.
Matty, you drunk? No, my character is.
I'm not.
No, not me. George.
Me personally? No, I would never dream of it.
You don't know anything about art or method
My
acting.
character has been slamming beers backstage and smoking hash.
I don't know where I never found it again. It was like this real weird few month period. There's a lot of hash in the neighborhood.
Oh, man.
Have any of you guys visited like any of like the acting? You guys have done acting stuff since then. I feel like
Not on stage. It would be cool to do a play. Like, are you thinking about getting back into that? You said
a play would be. I think I'd have to quit my job if I were to get into it.
I've looked into it too because I was like, this would be a fun way to like flex the muscle and like get back into it in like a meaningful way that's not just taking an 8-week class.
Yeah,
that's like joining a production, and it really will. I mean, you'd probably have to quit stand up for a while, or like just not do spots for like because also sometimes like it'll be a month straight of like 6 p.m. to 11. You know, like
it's a big time commitment. And then you just like I don't know. I like the idea of it though because I like when it's kind of when I first started stand up. It's like the feeling of being like vulnerable and scared to do something, and then after feeling good that you got it done. Yeah, I feel like that would feel good, like doing that.
Agreed.
Well, you said earlier you're thinking about getting back into or like doing more acting. Like, do you mean like camera?
Yeah, I got like an acting coach for like self tapes and stuff like that.
Nice,
and that's been fun. That's been actually like very.
Is it a Chicago person?
Yeah, it's a Chicago person. Her name's Olivia Tennyson. Another comic hooked me up with her, and she's helped me. She's pretty really cool, made me feel comfortable and everything. And I remember like after I got done like one of the acting lessons, I was talking to my brother, and he was just like, "What's up with you?" He was like, "Why are you so like
in your feelings right now?"
Yeah. He was like, "This is weird."
You were like, "I just always wanted to let you know I fucking love you, bro."
He was like, "You're very vibrant right now.
What's going on right now? You're glowing."
Yeah.
Do you remember when we were youths, full of hope and light? Are you okay, dude?
He was like, "Yeah, cut that shit out."
Yeah,
are you doing like
do that.
classes for self tapes? Or are you doing like an ongoing one-on-one class?
So like, if I get a self tape, I'll run it by her, and then she'll look at it, and then kind of run it through with me. Run through the script with me.
Nice, that's awesome.
Yeah. Have you? I feel like you've done similar stuff.
There's a few in Chicago that I'll use. There's this one dude I really like, but it's usually like last minute because they come in last minute.
Yeah.
But I'll, like if it's like a bigger one, or if it's something that I think it's maybe a little more out of my like comfort zone, or like maybe more dramatic, I'll like hit him up and work with him for like an hour or two, and then he'll put me on tape because he's got like a setup at his place too.
Yeah,
so
that's sick. Yeah,
I didn't know about acting coaches, and when I first got my manager, I got a few auditions, and I like only got like a callback once. Otherwise, I was getting
that. But
like
that's still good. That was out of like 1 out of 5 is crazy.
Never came close to booking anything. But no, that's like 1 out of like 20. And then I like found out that people were using acting coaches, and I was like, I've been doing this alone.
Yeah, right.
Like, I was like recording the other reader and then like reading to myself, like, I gotta time this right. And like I had like so many things I'm like juggling in my head, and then I like wouldn't get it, and I'm like, what am I doing wrong?
Yeah, your phone's like propped up.
Pretty much everything the whole time.
Your phone's propped up on like a shoebox.
Yeah,
and like
I just wish I had like, because when I first got like a manager, I was just like trying to like act like I was supposed to.
You knew
be
it was
there.
up. Yeah,
yeah. And I wish I had been like, hey, because I was so scared if I had asked like a dumb question, she'd be like, you don't know what you're doing. I'm out of here. And like, and I should have been like, hey, how do I actually do this?
We should ask more questions. Like the first time I went to like all these meetings in Hollywood, no one prepped me for anything, and I went in and like I was younger, like and nervous, and I treated it like it was like corporate jobs.
Yeah,
like it was an interview out of college or something. So like I'm in these like casting agencies, and I'm just like, and nice to meet you, and hello, instead of like being myself. And also like I think we talked about this, but like one of them was like this. It was like an ABC general. And they're like, so like, what shows do you like? I'm like, I watch like a lot of like nature documentaries and like history stuff. And like, I was sitting in a waiting room with a 20-foot billboard of Modern Family. So it's like, just say the fucking shows that they do here.
Modern Family.
Don't be like, I don't know, a lot of ghost things. Are you guys into the supernatural? Like, get this guy the fuck out of my office.
Fucking be gone, man, child. We hate
National Geographic, and they're like, all right, yeah.
Didn't hear back from a lot of those guys.
Yeah, asking questions is super important. I have the same sentiment where I'm like, oh, I'm in this, world now. I can't ask questions and, be like a rookie. I'm like, I just got to assume to know everything. But I feel like asking questions helps. I didn't even know you could like improvise in like a self-tape. I thought you just had to read, and they were like, you could like do your own thing. And I was like, oh, and they're like, that's kind of the point. Like, you're supposed to throw your spin on it. And I was like, oh, right. Okay. Yeah. If I just asked the question, I would have saved myself so much.
Well, in Chicago, for specifically, I don't know if this was other unions too, but they had to stop. So for years, what was going on was like, it's for mostly commercial auditions.
Yeah.
The script would be like, just improv. Like, so like they would make you come in and improv. And they were getting stand-ups, and then also everyone on the Second City main stage to come in, improvise. They're all filmed auditions. So they're coming in with all this gold. So they're like rewriting the commercial on the spot, and then they're hiring some model to like do it. This happened so many times that the union fought it, and like they weren't legally allowed to say improvise. So now they'll just be like, just make it your own.
Oh wow!
But it was mostly because of like the commercial.
The copywriter for the ad is sitting there being like, be more creative than me.
Yeah.
I know you are. Go, please. Do my job now. Yeah, that's fucked up. That's so fucked.
Yeah.
Man, I would love. It would be great to book something. I'm doing like voiceover stuff now.
You book some stuff. It's huge.
I feel like voiceover stuff is a lot more. It's a lot more fun than I expected it to be. I did like a little voiceover self tape recently. I had so much fun doing it. I kind of dread doing takes for like acting, but the voiceover stuff, I was like, get me back. Like, let me do another. Like, I was like hyped to do another one because it's just way more fun.
I was having so much fun with it. Like I kept doing takes, and my like girlfriend was like, I think you got it. And I was like, yeah, but I'm loving this. I can do a different character right now.
I think it's more fun to do voiceovers because when you're going through it or editing it, you don't have to look at, for me, I don't have to look at my fucking face.
Yes.
All right, let's do a quick voiceover practice right now.
Okay.
All right. The casting call is a 75-year-old school bus driver conspiracy theorist.
Okay.
75-year-old.
Go.
Are you drinking that water? You know what they're putting in that water. Nothing good.
Obama's passport? Never seen it.
Anyway, welcome aboard, children.
If you need help, don't ask me.
This guy's like, I don't care about the birth certificate. I want the passport.
I don't care about that train ticket. Show me Obama's passport.
I'm just pissed he's just flying around on Air Force One and they're not properly stamping the booklet.
Dude, you should, your voices are so good across the boards with just all your dialects and accents too. Like, I mean, maybe take like a one-on-one class just to like have someone be like, here's how you I don't know.
Do all the voice, do all the reads and stuff like that.
I mean, your demo would be, the range on your demo tape would be wild.
It would be fun.
Especially if you want to like pitch it towards the fantasy realm, which I know would be right up your alley. You know, like
do I, my chap?
I just started rewatching Game of Thrones and House of Dragon, all this stuff, and Night of the Seven Kingdoms, dude. I really fan out over this shit. I don't know. I feel like I have to explore more into this because I really like Game of Thrones. I get, what's the other one? Lord of the Rings. I feel like I have to get into that.
Talking to the right guy right here.
Yeah. I've got to get into that. I feel like, dude,
you have to be careful though. He will overwhelm you with choices out of the gate. He's gonna hit you with like 5 different trilogies, and you're like, my guy, one at a time.
Slow down.
Yeah.
And this other one that's really good.
Yeah.
He's got this like cool based magic. It's like memories.
Him and Luke both are like reading all these things. Like one of them was like, oh, I love this one. They're like, well, this one doesn't happen to like book 7. I'm like, I don't have time for that.
Book 7?
Give me one book standalone.
It is such a big commitment that it turns people away. But I'm like,
Lord of the Rings is good. You can also do Lord of the Rings. You drive a lot for work, right?
Yeah.
Audiobooks are so good.
Okay, word.
Like, and Lord of the Rings just got re-released as an audiobook read by Andy Serkis.
Oh,
who's the guy who voiced Smeagol.
Yeah.
And he does all the voices. He can do tons of voices. And it's really good. I wish that there was a version of Lord of the Rings, and I know this is kind of like shading the author and the art that he put into it, but like where he could be like, hey, can we do like a songless Lord of the Rings? Because there's so many songs.
Yeah.
In Lord of the Rings, the book. They'll be like, and Legolas and the troop took off hiking. Gandalf had fallen, and Legolas took off into a merry little jig about trees. And like, they'll be like, and as we walked down through the forest, 3 and company, blah, blah, blah. And you're like sitting there like, I'm so ready for the book, actually. Like, most of that book is songs. There's so many songs.
Really?
Yeah.
And if you're doing the audio, they do it like that?
Oh yeah, they like have the like old time narrator be like, and hit tra la la lee la la.
Who wrote Lord of the Rings?
J.R.R. Tolkien. World War I veteran.
Okay.
He's from England and South Africa.
When I watch those fantasy shows, dude, do you ever imagine yourself in that world?
Yeah, that's why it's called fantasy. Because you close your eyes and you go, me too.
Dude, I watch Game of Thrones. There's like no black people in Game of Thrones.
Not at all.
I'm like,
weird choice because it's not like it was made even in like the fucking 90s or something.
It's so
you know what
funny
I mean?
that there's no black people in fantasy because they're like imagining everything and they're like, what the people?
Yeah.
Black people. Are you kidding me right now?
They haven't even
considered it. Was there something where there's like more black people in the new Hobbit or
like
something?
Dragons?
Yeah, like, people are pissed. Like, here's this woke bullshit dragon. It's like, there probably are black people.
Yeah, in a world with dragons and trolls.
Yeah.
It's not unbelievable.
Not unheard of.
Yeah. Same with Star Wars. All of a sudden there'll be like a Scottish guy. You know what I mean? You're like, oh, there's not a lot of black people, but there's a guy from Scotland.
This guy has a wild accent. It doesn't match anybody else's. But there's no black
no black people in space, but there's a lot of Irish
a lot of
folk.
Scotch Irish.
What were you saying? Who do you see yourself as then in Game of Thrones?
I'm just like I'm a Northman, even though they're all tall white dudes. So they're definitely from like Scotland. I'm like, that's me, dude.
What's the family that like you're rooting for the most?
You have a certain stoicism to you. You're from the snowy areas of the world.
There you go.
Do you think people watch that and are like identify and root for other families in that?
I couldn't imagine being like a billionaire watching that, not seeing the Lannisters and being like, and that's who I am.
I thought about this with like Harry Potter, where like there must be some people that are like, actually I like Slytherin.
I like the Slytherin.
Like I like the mean ones.
Yeah,
I'm a little salty.
I do like a villain as good as Cersei. I like that. I kind of, it does make you kind of.
I see a value in ruthlessness.
Yeah,
it doesn't mean you need to like step on people and be mean, but there's like you should be able to say no without feeling bad because you are protecting yourself.
Right.
You should obviously there's something fun and you want to do it and it would be fun and you think that more fun would be had by the whole group if you were able to attend.
Yeah.
But you go, no, I'll be tired. I can't.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I need to be able to recover. I need to do my thing.
I'm learning. No. I'm like want to write that down.
Actually fucking no. Like and it's not that I hate you. It's just because I need to take care of me. I'm so sorry.
Like, I'm trying to learn that. And that was beautiful. We just got that
stuff
from
Thrones.
That was awesome.
Off the dome.
I learned that from watching Littlefinger.
Credit to my mentor.
I watched a guy with no dick. The spider. I watched him work that way, and I was like, I can learn a little bit.
Yeah. I've definitely stolen a quote or two from these shows and just passed them off as my own thing.
Yeah.
Wait, which one's Littlefinger? Like the pimp guy?
Yeah. I was saying both of them, but
Yeah,
they're both
yeah.
like they both like are always
And then the bald,
proselytizing
like the bald
ruthlessness.
pervert guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Littlefinger's the one that's like he pretty much starts all of the conflict.
Peter Baelish.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that guy.
Yeah.
He's
Dude,
great.
he's
He was
got like
The
He's like
fucking
an HBO
mayor in The
darling.
Wire.
Yeah, he's been in like every HBO show, I
Have
feel
you
like.
seen The
Yeah.
Wire? Have you seen The Wire? Has everyone here seen
dude.
The Wire?
That's my next show I'm gonna watch. Is The Wire.
That's the
Yeah.
best show I've ever seen.
That's what I keep hearing.
It's
That's what I keep
crazy
hearing.
I actually I think I started like in the middle because I didn't have cable till I was in college, and it was whatever season was on, I just started watching that.
Yeah,
so
that
good.
guy,
Omar,
I've
dude.
seen so
Omar.
many videos of this guy online.
Oh, he's got some great quotes.
Yeah.
He speaks really grandiloquently.
Oh really? Oh, that's an awesome. Is he a villain?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
that's-
yeah. He's
I
like, well,
love
he's
that,
kind of
dude.
what he
Not
he-
really, like,
He's
kind of,
not
but
a
not.
villain. He's a villain to a lot of the main characters, but a lot of the
Yeah.
main characters are terrible people.
Right.
Oh,
So
okay,
it's like
okay,
these
okay.
like drug dealer murderers. He
Yeah.
And
robs the drug dealers and murders them.
And I think
Oh,
he's
I
like
love
openly
that.
gay in the show, which like there's no other like right?
really?
Isn't that
Yeah,
true?
he's gay.
And so and he's also like a ruthless gangster.
Yeah.
That's like robbing other
Great
gangsters.
character, yeah.
And like so yeah, it's like it's a great character.
Yeah, he's a sick actor. That actor passed recently.
That's
A few years ago.
Yeah.
I think it was
Oh,
like
is it-
Fent. Like it was like late, wasn't it?
Oh, really? Was it an overdose? Oh,
Like an
Oh,
accidental.
yeah.
I think it might have been
That's
like
sad.
some.
he
something
did.
laced with
He
Fenty.
did die. Yeah. I remember that.
what is his name again? Michael
Williams.
Kenneth Williams. Yeah.
Yeah.
How did he pass? What happened to him?
I think I just told you, but
Are we sure? Yeah, but we're
we
always
can double
confidently
check.
wrong.
That's true. That's true. And we don't want to get a death wrong, especially something of this
Especially
nature.
like a
Over.
yeah.
Yeah.
We're on
What
like,
is this website?
he's
Leave
on-
it though. Don't
he's
keep
on
going
the
up and
bo-
down it.
He's on the board. He's on the Boardwalk Empire
Fandom.
wiki. He's like, we're trying
He's
to see
like,
how the
top
actor
to
who played
bottom, no
Chalky
idea.
White
Yeah, we're trying to
died.
find out like the most basic information.
Wikipedia, regular wiki.
Also, I forgot his character in Boardwalk Empire was named Chalky White.
Yeah,
Oh, that's why.
Insane
So you gotta
name.
look up his real name and his human given name.
You know, you were like Chalky
Michael
White.
Kenneth
How
Williams.
Did he pass?
Yeah.
It's like, well, Steve Buscemi
You're
probably.
like, was there ever a Boardwalk Empire Wire collab?
Yeah, Michael K. Williams. Oh man,
Heroin
lethal
laced-
amount of
Oh, shit.
fentanyl.
Heroin laced with lethal amount of fentanyl.
Damn,
So it's
bro.
almost like someone said that recently. it's weird.
Matty, come on.
That's true. I am probably there's
The
a
amount of times that you and I are
80%
so
chance we'll
thoroughly
be wrong, and we do have to confirm that
Like,
for sure.
yeah, man.
Yeah.
Fucking president.
That's
Rutherford
like
B. Hayes, he killed that Garfield
He
guy.
killed him, dude.
It's like, no.
It's like I don't think that actor got killed by James Garfield. I'm like, he did, came back from the dead, man.
Dude, that's two East Coast shows that are top. I feel like they're top three, right? It's like
Boardwalk,
yeah, it's Sopranos, this, and then
The Wire, and Boardwalk.
Baltimore,
I was
Jersey.
thinking, Breaking Bad. Breaking Bad's the other one. but
Oh,
that's
that's
West
Albuquerque.
Coast.
Albuquerque.
Albuquerque.
That,
Yeah.
when you always look up like the #1 TV show
Yeah.
ever, Chernobyl comes up
Really?
for some reason.
Are those inflated numbers?
I think it's just really highly rated. It's always HBO shows.
Oh, I
and
did
Chernobyl
see.
is like 98% critics, 99%.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Do you think those people in Russia were like, yeah, what happened? They haven't told us.
Yeah. What is this that my parents keep talking
Watch
about?
it. They're like, this is great.
Yeah. Oh, that's why all my toes are one toe. All right,
Yeah.
tight.
That's why I have 10 one toes.
So that's
All my toes have toes on them.
I got 10 one toes.
And one toes, big, long,
Do you think
thick
about
toes.
that? Have you ever seen the toes like that?
It's no feet,
on
only
the toe.
toes. It's hard to walk.
I stump around on my one
It's
toe.
mostly stomping.
I like the way your mouth is moving in a way that I feel like it's very Russian what you're doing over there.
Doing the accent.
You change your mouth a little bit.
I do not think Jimmy Kimmel is very funny.
Is that a big Russian stance?
Yeah, they're over there in Russia and they're like, I hate this Jimmy
Don't
Kimmel.
like him. Jimmy,
Goddamn Jimmy Kimmel not doing very good comedy.
don't
Very
be a child.
offensive.
Jimmy is
Very
child. Be
bad.
James. That's men.
Oh man. So you Sam. We're back to Sam.
Sam.
It's our guest. We must interview him more. They need to know about him. He's in the buddy system.
That's true. Fully. I mean, also fully in the buddy system. We're like, this is the first time on the pod, but you've been here. You've kicked it at the studio.
Oh yeah. I've kicked there a bunch. Yeah.
What the hell?
What the fuck is going on over here? It just offered to use ChatGPT.
ChatGPT
from
on it.
your
My
ass.
phone was like, I could use ChatGPT if you want. I don't even have ChatGPT on this. God damn, bro. All right, so you open for Ralph a lot.
Yeah. I opened for Ralph a lot.
Yeah.
I was at the Laugh Factory one day, and I was just like, I was going up, and it was like random. Like, there's just like a random guest spot before my spot there, and I got tight, dude. I was like, what the fuck? Who's jumping up before me? And then it was him, and I was like, oh fuck. And I literally got so scared after that. Totally. I got so nervous to follow him, and then I followed him, and then when I got off stage, when he got off stage, I was already like a really big fan of his, but I didn't say anything to him. I didn't ask for like a handshake or anything. I just walked by him, and then when I got off stage, he wasn't there, so I thought I was like, damn, he probably fucking left and didn't see my set. And then he messaged me like 2 days later at like 4 a.m, and he was like, yo, I really like your stand-up. And he was like, when I clicked on your page, I thought you'd been like a professional comic, but I think I had one post.
Yeah.
At the time.
When I followed you, you had like one or none.
I remember when you were like, "Are you a bot? Like, what's going on?" Yeah. I had one post, and he was like, "I figured like you'd have like a few, have a good following and like, some following behind you, but I didn't." He was like, "Come open up these shows," and then we kind of maintained that relationship ever since. I think he stayed for a little bit and then left after.
Hell yeah!
But dude, I thought like his username is weird on Instagram. It's like Ralph Barbosa 03. So I saw the message at like 5 a.m. and then I just saw Ralph Barbosa 03 and I was like, it's definitely like a bot or some shit. So
asking
I put it
for
down.
feed pics or
And
something.
then I was and then I was just at work and I was like, let me actually go through this shit. I was like, yo. I was like,
hello,
goddamn.
it's me, Ralph, for sure this time.
Yeah.
Foot.
You can open for me? How's your feet look, by the way?
Yeah. You want to open for me? All I require is 1 foot.
Dude, I remember when I first met you. It was like right when I moved back from New York, and we hung out a bunch of times. Like the first 8 months maybe. Yeah. I had never seen you do a set, and I liked you so much. I'm like, I really hope this dude's funny.
Dude, that was so fucking
that was the case, and
dude, that when we did Parlor Car, I remember I remember I hadn't done stand up in front of you, and then I remember after my set, you came out to me and you were like, thank God you're funny.
Yeah.
I was gonna be so bummed if you sucked, dude.
Because we were caking it hard,
for sure.
for months before we I didn't know too much about you, so people I remember I would talk to other comics and they'd be like, yo, I just talked to Matty Ryan, and I was like, Matty Ryan, and they're like, yeah, Matty Ryan. And I was like, my Matty? And they're like, yeah, you're Matty. And then they were like, and then I went through your stuff and I was like, oh, this is fucking goated.
Yeah.
This dude's got credits up to fucking, and so I feel like we both hadn't seen each other, and then I watched our shit and I was like, yo, this dude's fucking incredible.
Yeah.
And I was like, I have to come through with that, good stand up and stuff. It would be a letdown. I've had that happen before where I'm like,
we still would have been friends. It would have been like, I just wish he was funnier. We could do stuff together more,
Yeah. Well,
it's a bonus when they're funny.
For sure.
Let's fucking go. Yeah.
It's always a slight bummer when someone you're like, I really like him, but he keeps just going up there and bombing, and then bombing and bombing and bombing.
Yeah.
That affects my opinion of somebody.
Eventually, there's no growth.
What's your deal?
Yeah.
Why do you keep doing this to yourself?
Because at certain
and
points,
the audience.
What's going on, man?
Everyone's telling you no, and then you keep being like, yes.
Hey, what about this? What about if I change nothing and keep trying?
Yeah.
I'm like, just.
It's also when they're genuinely funny off stage, and then they just have something shift where they just don't do that on stage, and I'm like, if only
that was me for a long time.
Yeah,
and truly for years, people would just be like, "Why are you not off stage, Matty, on stage?" And I'm like, I don't know how to do that. I was so tight and buttoned up and just very I
would look at my
feet.
I
was real. I mean, obviously scared, but it wasn't just that. It was I didn't know how to just be. Completely even in my own voice. And was still growing and getting, more better things, but still never and honestly, I'm more there now than I ever have been, but I feel like I still have a way to go to manufacture it sometimes when maybe you're not like fully in the pocket on stage and like the audience isn't vibing. Then I start to go into panic mode still, and then it's harder for me to be like just loose in the moment. We're like being able to just like hit that and maintain it is like some kind of I don't know ultimate Zen goal.
I just don't think there's such thing as mastering this.
I think you're right.
I don't think anyone masters stand-up because even the people who are like, we claim that they're the best, they have the most critics. And they have the most people who are claiming like what they're talking about is like not fair or not cool or like I'm thinking of Dave Chappelle. Dave Chappelle is like probably like a pound for pound. A lot of people consider him like one of the greatest stand-ups of all time. But he can't escape the criticism of his material. And like
I don't think it exists.
It looks like he's begging for it now, and he just keeps like hammering the anti-trans stuff. It just doesn't make sense anymore. But like,
I mean, maybe George Carlin could be considered a master, but he also would be preachy at times. No offense.
True.
There's never
if
like
any of them were to say like I'm the greatest, or if one of them were like I've mastered this, you'd be like shut up. So like I think that means there's no mastering it. I
hate when like I kind of do. I get that there's like some science behind stand up, but I do get annoyed when like comics will like talk where they're like, and I did this move because I knew that the crowd was going to go this, so I led them in this direction, and then I hit them with that because they weren't expecting. And I was like, I don't even think on I do think on stage, but I'm just like, I should look to the right. That's like my only thought. I'm like, look to the left, look to the right. Do your thing. I'm not like countering the audience and doing moves and stuff. Like I'm just like
boxing match.
I'm like I hope my shoes are tied. That's like
that's something that I double check a lot.
Right.
I really do.
Out, right?
I'll be on stage. I'll be like, what if my zipper's been down this whole time?
And then you like do that move where you're like, you check your zipper and they're like, I just touched my dick.
Yeah.
I just like did a weird move where I kind of was like in the middle of a sentence and I was kind of like.
But then if you look at it, it's weird. You can't be like, that was weird, right? Sorry. Wiener's still there. Don't worry.
Possible to check if the zipper is doing what it's supposed to.
That would be kind of a funny bit. Just got to check.
All right, go.
You never know when you're doing this type of work.
Would suck if the zipper was down.
Oh yeah, I mean I've seen that just derail a set. I mean you just don't care. At that point, they just lose all credibility. So I remember when I went on stage one time, I had my shoes untied, and I remember the guy was like, "Man, that really wasn't working." And one of the audience members was like, "Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, your shoe was untied. And I lost all respect for you."
Whoa! I thought he was gonna say I couldn't concentrate on your set because I was looking at your shoelaces. I lost all respect for you.
Wait, that's not what you thought immediately.
I thought he was gonna say. I thought he was gonna say I was worried you were gonna trip, so I was focused on your shoelaces.
He was like, you lost all credibility.
When Sam mentioned my shoe was untied, I was almost like, get out. Despicable.
It's like a guy trying to talk about life, the way of life, and his shoes untied.
And another thing, your shoes are untied. Stop it.
That's the whole world go crazy.
Now we're looking at us. Trying to tell us how to live, the difference between men and women. I can't even tie shoes.
The thing about women is...
The thing about tying your fucking shoes. How about that? Stop criticizing dating and fucking tying.
News is weird, shoes are weird. Everything's weird.
Dating's hard, huh?
I lost all respect for you.
Oh my God, that's so intense.
Imagine getting heckled and he's like, I don't respect you.
Yeah, right. He's like, you lost credibility when I saw your shoes.
It's true a little bit.
It's true.
Now that we broke it down a little bit, you're not really allowed to talk about anything except being dumb and clumsy.
True.
That's the only thing that's going to really
hit. If your whole set is
about
how much you trip, then you're allowed to have your shoes done.
Yeah.
It's a great, add on to the set.
Velcro shoes. That's a move.
Matty and I were at a coffee shop yesterday, and I saw a guy wearing those Morels, those like slip-on shoes. They're like basically like, what do you call them? Like short sleeve Chelsea boots.
Oh yeah, like short sleeve Blundstones.
You know the Merrills?
They're like if you have to kind of walk through the woods to your business meeting.
Yeah. They're if you have to hike to your board meeting.
These fucking things. Yeah.
Oh yes, these. Yes,
they're like weirdly like loafers, but also running shoes.
Yeah.
I saw some guy wearing them, and I was like, oh, are those back in?
Yeah, dude.
I'll wear those.
I'm kind of looking at them now, and I'm like,
I know they're kind of sweet.
They're
you
kind
turn
of a
to me and
look.
go, so those are back in, I guess. And I go, for who?
And I immediately was like, definitely not me.
Yeah. that guy's not that guy, though.
That guy definitely wouldn't. I've got to return something.
That guy did look cool as hell, though, by the way. The guy that was wearing those.
He looked cool?
He looked pretty cool.
Yeah, I think those are cool. I've seen people wearing those before.
Not because of those. Everything else was cool about him. That was actually, to me, the least cool thing about him.
You know who I could see wearing a pair of those?
Me?
Chet Hanks.
Oh yeah, we were just talking about. We almost opened talking about that, and then we forgot.
And then I brought it back perfectly.
Yeah.
A really smooth transition right there. You know who I could see wearing those shoes? Maybe
Mr. Chet
is that white guy that goes brat brat brat? That
guy. Big up to the Golden Globe. He said that. That's a direct quote from him.
That's a direct quote.
What you just said to
me?
They
were like, "Hi, Chet. How you feeling about the Golden Globes?" And he went, "Big up to the Golden Globe."
How is he not like?
It's amazing, man.
He's Tom Hanks' son.
Has he no decency or respect for his father's name? I just don't understand it.
We're so late to the game talking about Chet Hanks.
I
but
know.
It is so.
Well, I don't think so because he's still out here doing that shit.
Yeah, you think
like it's not like he stopped.
You think Tom like lectures him, or do you think he's just accepted it at this point?
I don't know.
Yeah. You are not Jamaican, Chet.
Chet,
so
please.
Atlanta had an episode.
Oh yeah,
you saw that episode?
Yeah.
Where it was like the kid's mom, the kid's nanny died, and the nanny was from the Caribbean, and the kids had been raised by the nanny. They had like two. So it was basically like that was like what Chet Hanks made. Like Hanks basically like that's what he claims is like.
Yeah.
He's like, my mom and dad were always gone filming big and stuff
he's
that.
Like trying to own it,
and
like that's how he really speaks.
And so my nanny from Barbados raised me, so now me think we talk like this.
No, dude. No, that is wrong. So he's trying to like defend it.
Yeah.
That's I mean, dude.
He's going out there. He's like, I was raised by a woman from Barbados, so when I stub my toe, I go bumba clap, bumba clap.
I can't blame him. It is a really fun accent to do once you start getting into it. And he's also like, the people love it. They love it. The Jamaican people love it. They're bigging him up, you know?
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah,
really?
they big him up.
I mean,
for real?
You were saying like a lot of his comments.
He was saying that they were sliding in his DMs and they were saying big up General when he was on the
DMs, but not publicly.
In the DMs, they were just DMing him. I guess.
I think publicly people are like, "We fucking love you,
dude."
Chad.
I think he's good everywhere.
He's good everywhere. It's musician. It's music, right? It's rapping, or what is it?
I mean, I actually have never listened to any of his
music.
music.
I know he's responsible for White Boy Summer. He coined that phrase, and then he did White Boy Summer. I think he did rap. I think he was a rapper. Yeah. At some point,
that video came out about a month ago of Tom Hanks watching Chet perform.
Wait, this just clicked into
my. He's
like
in the back, like being like,
really?
Yeah, that's my son up there.
Dude, yes.
That's my boy. Hey, Bomba Clot as well.
He's really in the show, like vibing.
Everything gonna be Irie, Chad. I've always said that. I've always said everything gonna be Irie.
He got that from me, actually.
He's quoting his pops up there.
Honestly, probably the least annoying celebrity child. He's the most eccentric, entertaining celebrity child I think of.
I don't disagree with that.
I've seen on the internet. Yeah,
the other ones who are like pretending like they're sophisticated.
I know, right? They're pretending like they,
yes, my father's Johnny Depp. So.
Yeah.
Does he have old enough kids like that?
Of course, yeah. Lily Rose Depp.
Oh.
Yeah, and then Jaden Smith
eyes.
And all those kids.
She looks like Betty Boop from the neck up.
That's kind of scary.
Yeah.
That is off. Yeah.
I think I have.
We didn't even. Usually we do a break, but we had a lot.
We
of
just
fun.
cooked all the way through
for a full hour.
Yeah, that was yeah.
Follow Sam. What's
Sam
your
Biru.
what's your Instagram?
Yeah, what's your Instagram?
My Instagram's Morkata Biru. MORKATA BIRU.
That's his real first name.
Yeah, real first
tag
name.
somewhere in the thing
Super
here.
sick first name.
I don't know how you get pegged from that.
I know. I got
where you get pegged from Margaret, but
next move I make, I think I'm gonna try and go by Morkata.
Morkata
nice.
Biru.
Yeah, maybe.
That's a cool name.
It is a sick ass.
It's way cool, dude. Yeah. Let's start making that move soon.
I know, right? I feel when I was younger, it was too hard for people to pronounce. Then when I got older, everybody was like, "You have the sickest name."
Yeah,
you need to go.
Well, everyone follow Morkata on Morkata Biru.
You already got the Graham handle too. So
Right.
Super funny. I wish I could invest in comedians because I would buy low here. And I would freaking make it. I would make billions.
But you guys can invest by following him and supporting him and
hit him up when he inevitably tours. Go.
Venmo more kind of send him $10, dude.
Do that. Yes, please.
A bunch of you guys.
Yes, please. Yes. You can follow the Buddy System on Buddy System Pod across all social media. We also are on every single place that you pod your casts. Spotify, YouTube. That's where you can watch them. We recommend watching. Sub to the Patreon. You can get it a day early. We love you.
We love you guys. Thanks so much for coming. And thanks again, Sam.
Thank you, guys.
This was great.
Yeah.